Ah. Alice in Chains. Is that TV too high? Let me stare at it for a second. Because it's like that for when I do speaker reviews. And I decided that since I'm reviewing a speaker amp, instead of setting up speakers at my desk, just bring a desk to the speakers that are already here in the speaker den. Speaker corner, speaker central. I don't care. The point is, there's a laptop. It's got foobar. It's got waifus. We can do this here. This is the LOXJIE A30. And I reviewed the LOXJIE D30, and I'm like, that name sounds familiar because everything's called a D30 or D10. And this is the A30, and I'm pretty sure there's an A30 somewhere in my line. And for the price, it's probably going to be the most purchased thing that this is it. This is going to be the thing because Zeos, I need a DAC. Zeos, I need a headphone amplifier. Zeos, I want a speaker amp for my desk. But it has to have Bluetooth in Zeos, and it has to have USB in, and it has to have fiber optic in, and it has to have coaxial digital in. Oh, but it also needs to be able to output to a subwoofer Zeos. I want a subwoofer for my desk. Here you go. All those things I just said. It's a headphone amp. It's got a subwoofer out. I'm running the Emotiva SE12. It's 80 watt per channel Infineon drivers, the same drivers that are in the SMSL. A DA8S, which is like my favorite amp, which also was the M300, which also had a headphone out. But this is just it. Yeah, remote control. See, it's got to have remote control too, so I could mute it and change modes, speakers. Mozart. For those of you questioning the acoustics of my upstairs, holy fuck, don't question them down here, you bitch. You bitch! I bought this house because this ceiling is filled with stuffing. I love it. Think the Turkish march will get me pulled? I hope not. Anyway, we'll tour the unit. I'll shut it off by holding the volume button down. I'll disconnect the power. I think these other things will reach. There's a lot of them. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. Power input, 24 volt, 6 3/4 amp, which 6 3/4 should remind you of a Bentley because those are 6 3/4 liter. So that's how you'll know it's 24, 6 3/4. Binding posts for 5-way. We've got the USB in here, which is a USB fucking micro. Why? Why can't they? I just keep staring up really far. I don't know why. Why can't things be USB-C anymore? Just pay the fucking lady. Pay the lady. Whoever the lady is, pay her. Here's our subwoofer out, which is just a standard RCA. We've got the fiber optic. Wow, that's tight as balls. Which is actually running off my laptop there. But to convert USB to fiber, I'm using that Duke audio converter thing for like 40 bucks. So instead of a topping D10 for that task, there's a cheaper unit that I've had and then lost and then found again. And that's it, the little Duke. So it's just USB, and all it gives you is coaxial out and fiber optic out. So I could have used coaxial or fiber optic. I just have a lot of fiber optic cables. Let's plug this back into its very tight hole. Here's your Bluetooth antenna, Bluetooth 5, but not LDAC, only aptX HD and low latency, which is pretty much fine unless you're doing severe audiophile listening over Wi-Fi or over Bluetooth. And then here's where shit gets interesting. So here's 2 RCAs, not colored, left and right in, or coaxial in. You can't have all 5 working. So the moral of the story is this is an amplifier with 5 inputs, only 4 usable at the same time. Because you could either do line in with left and right on these RCAs, or the right RCA is also coaxial. I don't hate that. You're gonna limit. Someone's gonna be upset by that. Someone watching this video, if you're that guy, comment is like, "Fuck, Zeos! I just needed an amp with a coaxial input and an RCA input at the same time." And this is not the amp for you then. But you still have fiber optic, and they do sell those little converters. You can go from coaxial to fiber optic. So there you go. So that's the back of the unit. It's metal case, not a. It looks like it's a perfect box. It's not. The edges are like slightly, unlike the SMSL SAP 200, where they went and skewed it like the fucking Leaning Tower of Pisa. This box just has the most gentle lean of the sides. And it's amazing what that small detail, I mean, it's a small lean, but it's amazing what that does. It makes it look a little bit like a bar of gold, or lead, I guess it would look like a bar of lead. But we got a high-res audio sticker, which you could peel the fuck off. Yeah, I know it does high-res audio. You know why? Because it's 2020 and nothing should... Can someone please tell me a product where the high-res audio sticker does not apply? Is there a product shitty enough that like it can't do 20 to 20,000 hertz? That's what this means. 20 to 20,000 hertz. It's high-res audio. 16-bit shit is high-res audio. Fuck you. Oh, by the way, this will support some like crazy high-end like 32-bit 384 if you use the DAC with the USB. I'm not using USB. I'm obviously using fiber just because distance from that. I don't feel like installing drivers. I'm going to plug this back in. There we go. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to give it a second. Then I'm going to turn it on. Give it 2 seconds. Oh, you got to hold down. Then it says LOXJIE. It's on. It's optical. That is the Watchmen HBO show soundtrack. No rhythm. I mean, what order is this shit in?
Bitter, shallow hipster, sweater, matching socks.
Allison Brie, Jeff in the Box from the Community. I love Allison Brie. Emma Watson, Esme Bianco, Allison Brie. Those are the three. If I magically could just wish them here. That was my list, and I've memorized it. Oh God, John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. Holy fuck. So 80 watts is a lot. The volume goes from 0 to 60, and at 40, it's like, and these are the JBL 570 towers, which I purchased when they were on sale for like $400 for the pair. And I was sort of regretting spending $400 on speakers that I absolutely don't need, but since they're still in stock someplace, even if I can't profit from an affiliate link in any way, shape, or form, go buy these speakers. Everyone needs these speakers. Needs them. I mean, I have them like up on like food boxes because they're so fucking short. But once you get them here, they like the 590s are right there, the Big Daddy 590s, and I'm like, I might enjoy these more. Oh, so the subwoofer. We should talk about the woomfer because I'm always hoping beyond hope that when you plug the subwoofer in, when you plug the wire in for the subwoofer to any of these units, it'll implement a high pass filter. On the website, which the LOXJIE themselves sent me this, and they linked me to Hi-Fi-Express, which will be linked in the description. On this, they do show this massive infographic that goes all the way down, all the way to the bottom, all the way to the bottom. And there's a part of it that shows the subwoofer cutoff here. And the thing is, it talks about a low-pass filter, an active low-pass filter. That means it's taking the signal that's 100% full range from 20 to 20, and it's cutting off the top and letting the low pass to the sub. Nothing about a high-pass filter, which is really like the ultimate goal. Now, that subwoofer down there, you all know the SE12 has the RCA ins and outs. That has a high pass where it'll take the lows and not give them to the rest of the signal. You can't use it in this. You couldn't use it in this unless you use the RCA inputs of this amp that's too complicated. Let's not get into that. Also, if that graph is correct and it's showing me like the dip right there, then it's starting the cutoff at 200 hertz and it goes all to like 500 hertz and only like an 8 decibel down. So I actually had to adjust the crossover to the very bottom because that thing was sort of producing a little bit too much. Oh, by the way, it also, active preamp, built-in low-pass filter, filters out the human voice, making the bass purer and more shocking. So if you want more shocking bass, this is how you go. I'll unplug this for a bit because we don't need the subwoofer right now. We have 570s. That's no subwoofer. Trebles a little bit, but that's because they are we'll live with it. You don't like the treble? Let's lower it on the tone controls. Hit the menu. We got input, output, EQ, treble, bass, color, Bluetooth clear, and dimmer. So dimmer is, you can tell what the fucking dimmer is. Actually, the dimmer is always on or auto off for the screen, which is not really a dimmer as much as it is a screen timeout. Just gotta clarify that. Color will change the color of the thing. I have it currently on orange. We should probably work from the top down. Input shows you all 5 inputs. We're on optical. Output, you can choose speakers or headphones. This is one of those units that I wish had another button on it, because it's very convenient to switch between headphones and speakers with the remote control, because you have mode right here. So it's either phones or speakers. If you want to change that without the remote, it's get into the menu, go down to output, click it, go down to headphones, click it, then hold it down if you want to get out, and then you're back. You don't have to get out of the menu. It's just annoying that it isn't just... So, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's one extra step that's sort of like, give me more buttons on the front of this. More buttons here, less reliance on buttons here. Oh, I guess I'll talk with the remote. So power on, off, duh. Display just shuts off the display, which is what that auto would do, but we don't have it on that. Mute is mute. The corner here will light up red and say mute. It'll be our mute symbol. Currently showing me the volume. It's showing me dir, which is the EQ we're on. We'll get back to the EQs in a second. Up and down are for navigating the menu. They currently don't do anything on the unit. Left and right don't do jack shit unless you're in the menu. The center button here gets you into the menu. Mode is for switching between headphone and speaker. EQ will switch between these 7 EQ presets. Input will switch which input, just in order: coaxial, auxiliary, Bluetooth, USB, optical. Coaxial, optical. And then you have on the bottom of this, if you've watched my review of the D30, you'll know that that uses the side that says level. There's level and volume. And I guess that sort of makes sense, since that has an output that you could use for powered monitors, and you would adjust the level. And this one is an actual volume for speakers or the volume for the headphones. They both have headphones amps built in. I'm gonna probably take the topping at 1 second. Like I was saying, I'd probably knock the topping MX3 off of my reco list to replace with this, just because it's newer. It's newer, it's more powerful. MX3 was like 40 watts per channel, and these newer Infineon drivers, these 80-watt drivers, are clean as a fuck. They don't, can I... Fuck you. So probably shouldn't just, you know, I probably should keep saying fuck you. That's dumb. That I've had the phase linear hooked up there, like that model 400 phase linear. I'd replace it with this. I'd fucking replace it with this, because that sounds... Didn't get no sleep last night. Thinking about your love is so... That's dumb. All right, that's Jodeci. Give It Up from Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Because, of course, I have that soundtrack. Let me sort this by name now that it's all completely a mess. We did not talk about the the EQ. It has 7 presets. Starting from the bottom: clear, soft, rock, super bass, bass, tone, and direct. Now I have it in direct, which means there's no adjustment. That's what dir in the corner stands for. When you put it down to tone, that means you get to adjust the tone controls. So the treble and bass that are in this menu will actually work. So let's put on... Now it says 10. My only... And I don't even know if I should make this a fucking complaint, honestly. Because it says the treble and bass controls are plus and minus 10 decibels, which is a fucking lot. But from what I've played with, I'm at 10 dB down on treble right now. And we are set, let me make sure we are actually set to tone. We are set to tone. And we are set the trebles down 10 dB. That's at most a 4, maybe a 5 decibel drop. I know it's not hurting me anymore, but it's not 10. So those are a more finite control of bass and treble than they're stating they are, but I like it. It's like a benefit. It's like, oh, it's 10. No, it's actually 5, but they give you 10 increments, which means it's half decibel increments down to 5. That's a bonus in my mind. The other EQs are just basically, I don't think they're, like there's a super bass that you could turn on, which that's distorting a bit, but that's just because nothing should ever have the word super bass. You put just bass. Yeah, that's also, don't do it too loud for that. But I've done like soft and clear. They're okay. You know what? Fuck it. We're just stop. Just put your goddamn thing on direct and enjoy the clarity of this before you go. And that's another thing. We're running off the DAC in this because I'm not using the analog inputs. So that means when I plug, headphones are here somewhere, like HP3s in, which by the way, it will remember up to a certain point your volume setting, but if you're beyond that, if you're beyond 30 on the headphone out, when you switch modes, it's at 30. Like I had it at 35, now it's at 30, so it doesn't blow up. It will lower it automatically. This is a perfectly acceptable headphone experience. 1/4-inch output on the front. Raiders March is currently playing, by the way. Okay. This is good. This is good shit. This is good shit. This whole thing is good. The good type of shit. There's bad shit. I've reviewed bad shit. This is not that. So long as you could run on 80 watts per channel, which only like that crazy low end. Like if you're pushing hard, and those are not that efficient, those speakers. So I'm pushing them. It's either a ghost or Chewbacca's here. It's fine. Or the spider big enough to move around boxes. So, all right. It's on headphones. Let's change it. Go to the output. Go to speakers. I'm pretty sure just those 3 notes is enough to just demonetize the channel. I want to thank everyone who supports this channel on Patreon and Subscribestar for doing it. So, God, these speakers are so good. These speakers are so good. I can't wait to move them closer. I honestly can't wait to move them closer. Bring that shit right here, because I know how these speakers work. Those are 530s with more oomph. So, basically nothing but praise for the A30, for the LOXJIE A30. A little more than even the D30. D30 was a decent DAC, did its job. A headphone output was solid. This is a similarly solid headphone output. I'm not sure if they're just tapping off, I mean, they're probably just tapping off the Infineon drivers. But fuck, if you have a clean enough amp, whether it's for speakers or for whatever, and you could crank it down, it might fuck with the output impedance, but if you can't judge on costs, not Porta Pros, cost KPH 30Is, and then like an $1,100 set of HP3s, which are a fun headphone. Let's put it this way. I'm sure I can get these to sound better with things in my house. But for this fucking test, for $150, this is your choice. This is what you buy. This is the return of the all-in-one desktop solution that doesn't piss off Zeos is here. So that's it. Thank you for stopping by. Wallpaper in the description. Like I mentioned, Patreon and Subscribestar. Keep this channel going and make me not crazy and help pay the kid who mows my lawn, who was the one who rang the doorbell. He was like, hey, I mowed your lawn for the last time. The season's ending. You know what that means? Fucking snow is coming. So now I got to pay someone else to mow the snow push my shit. So that'll be fucking great. So yeah, support me please on Patreon and Subscribestar. See these reviews early, a week or more. Ask me questions on platform. I try to get to them. It may just be either insanely patient or think about the $10 tier. But also for $5, you get to the yard sale. I'll probably... Shit, do I yard sale this? It's one of those fat face scratching questions, because if I yard sale it, I can't bring it out to compare. And it's fucking doing great right now. So it's like, but do I yard sale it? Then I can't. But then at least someone will join the Patreon to buy this. So instead of $150, they pay, me $5 a month, and then they pay $80, and then they get this because it's $80.18. You got to make it an odd. So it's like, you'll see at the end of the start of next month, you'll see what's in the yard sale. Probably one of these two units, maybe the D. I might hold on to this. I might, and maybe hold on to this. Maybe hold on to this. Yes. And then speaking of the $10 tier, which is the private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat, where I answer your questions every day, immediately within, well, as long as I'm not working, within like 2 hours, I'll get there. Or any of the 100, 200 people that are in there can help you with it, because they're just as crazy as I am. But they don't have as much anime waifus, so I'm still the king of that. So $10 tier gets you into the behind-the-scenes Telegram chat. $5 gets you into the yard sales, questions on platform, and see the reviews early. If you want to discuss these things, you don't have to use the YouTube comments below. They're usually shit. Although, hi guys and everyone who comments, you're actually pretty useful. But if you want an actual discussion, I would highly recommend Hi-Fi Guides, the forum. Hi-Fi Guides, the wallpaper. No, it's Hi-Fi Guides, and then there's a forum attached to that site. That site's a buying guide, which will have this fucking on it. And I don't even think we have a setting in there for like a DAC and a speaker amp and a headphone amp. That's like a whole other category of very, very few things. So good job existing. It's like this would basically replace the PS Audio Sprout 100, which is like $700. I would get this. The output power is 80 instead of 100. The DAC is probably lesser in this, but I fucking can't really. First of all, it's very hard to tell the quality of DAC on speakers. Headphones is more where you actually assess that. And I'm like, I think I'll save $600 right now. You should use it. I think I would. So, are we done? I've pimped everything. You know how to download the wallpaper? Cool. Anything else I got to review on this desk before I tear it apart? I kind of like it here. I don't have the big light, though. All right, that's it. Wallpapers, speakers, links. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.